Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I've been inactive for what must be about 2 years now, but with some recent interest and activity spikes on the channel, with some more subscribers and some comments across the channel and my old videos, I thought maybe there was a interest in what I was doing and a requirement to get back into the YouTube game. So I've been thinking over the last few months about how I'll go about doing that, whether or not I'll just go back to the traditional unboxings or the reviews, or to do something a bit more interesting, maybe make a series. And that's the direction I'm leaning towards, because whenever I unbox things, they got good enough receptions, but people would always be like, oh, we want you to review it. And reviewing, for me, I always found reviewing products a little bit harder over YouTube, mainly because I sort of, you know, when I talk to you through the build quality and stuff, or when I'm doing unboxing, you're keeping things moving, you know, you're opening things, you're looking at things. Whereas when you review, I sort of have the product like a headphone in front of me, and then it's all right, I move around in my hands for about a minute or two, then I sort of just put it down and it's just a static picture of my words and my voice over the top of just a pair of headphones sitting there. So I thought I want to do something a little bit more productive, a bit more things going on involved, a bit like my monthly roundups I was doing, where I thought I got more products going on in a video. So what I've decided is I'm going to make a new series called Let's Talk IEMs, and it's as simple as it sounds. We're going to have a look at the recent going-ons in the earphone world. I'm going to look through some products I've received through in that product space over the last month or so. I'm going to try and do a bi-weekly or a monthly episode. We'll try and do bi-weekly at first, but we'll see how well that goes, because it's easier to say right now when I'm doing the first video, and obviously I need to get enough new stuff in to make it worthwhile, a new video every 2 weeks as opposed to one every month. But it's going to be solely IEM in-ear monitor, earphone, both custom and universal fit focused, and hopefully I'll impart some knowledge and show off some new stuff that you might find cool. So let's get started. So for each episode of this Let's Talk IEM series, I've sort of got a schedule in my head that I want to sort of stick to as we go forwards. Obviously it's going to evolve and change as we move forward through it, and through the series things will be different. But starting off in my head, we're going to first of all look at the earphones I've received through, building up to the video. For this week, because I've not done one last week, we're just going to unbox one of them. But then I'm going to ask you in the comments to let me know which one you want me to unbox on the next episode. So there's a little bit of interaction from you. You can tell me which one you want me to open up in front of the camera for the next episode, and we'll do that each week. After we've then done the unboxing, I'll take a closer look and slightly review a product that I've liked over the last month or so, and then I'll also pick another earphone that I'm maybe more neutral to, or even I really didn't like. So that way we've got two product reviews, an unboxing, and a sort of outline on the latest products in the industry that I've received through to talk about this month. And that's sort of how we're going to go forward. So for today I've got 5 earphones to quickly look over and just talk a brief bit about that I've received through, and we'll be reviewing on the website shortly. They've also got quite a few talking points about them, especially 2 of them, because they're already obsolete, which happens quite quickly in this industry these days with so much new stuff coming out. But first we have a brand new product from Echobox, the Nomad N1. It was announced at CES, if I'm not mistaken correctly, and it's a titanium earphone, just like the Explorer was. And this is what I'm going to have a little look more closely at today. But it is a single dynamic driver, 9.2mm German peak driver, and this one is going to be going for $400 US. We then have the UERR Primacy, and this is a triple driver hybrid, dual armature, one dynamic, and costs $300 US. but this is already obsolete. There's now the new one is called the new Primacy. So it's not even like the Primacy V2, it's just a new Primacy, and I will be reviewing that shortly. So when it comes to voting which one you want me to unbox next week, you can vote for this one because I will have the V2 by the next episode. We then have another obsolete product. I mean, I've not received these too long ago, and they're already been reworked in some way. This is the Trinity Master 4, part of their new Phantom series, and this was exciting for me because it's very similar to the Sabre, the Phantom Sabre design in terms of having a push-pull driver, which was a really cool sound, a unique sound and a unique technology. But it struggled in the high end. The treble weren't the nicest to me, and this just basically gives us some armature for the treble. So we have the dual dynamic push-pulling for the most part, then we have them dual armatures for the high notes, which I think could sound quite nice, and I was quite excited. It's a £160 earphone, but I just checked the website and it's now been replaced by the Master, which is this reworked with their new modular cable system. So I don't know how different it is, or if it is just the same product with a new cable. So I'll be finding out a little bit more about that for us shortly, but I can still vote for this as well, as always. Because if it is obsolete completely and not relevant, I'll just get the reworked version through to unbox instead. This is the TFC Balance 2M. This is still a current model at $240 and in a very blingy gold, and again it's a hybrid. But this is an interesting product because I really like what TFC done at the £35 price range with their previous model I reviewed of theirs. And when they announced a high-end model or a higher-end model, I was like, wow, this could be cool. So I'm really excited to see how this ends up performing. And finally, we have the much cheaper model at just £16, the McCord T1000, which is a single dynamic, nothing too fancy there, but it is a Bluetooth earphone. And Bluetooth is something that I've been giving a lot more attention to lately. While I've not tried the full wireless, so no cables whatsoever, earphones, and I've just been going for the more standard Bluetooth earphones with the cable running between each channel. I'm liking how they're performing better. This is a Kygo Bluetooth model, and if I'm honest, I actually like the cable in between, solely for the reason that I generally use these for when I'm working out, be it running or in the gym, and if I'm wearing them and one of them falls out, I like that it's almost a safety net. If one falls out, it's getting caught, it's not hitting the floor and potentially breaking. I'm not going to have to rummage around, maybe if I'm running in the forest, under leaves to try and find this finicky little monitor. So I do like the cable, but I also see the appeal of having the fully wireless earphones. I mean, it's just straight up pretty cool, isn't it? So I will be trying some of them in the future, I reckon. No doubt about it. I can get my hands on some, of course. Anyhow, today I've chosen the Nomad as the earphone to unbox. So I'm going to bring you over, we're going to have a closer look at this little thing. So you may remember in the past I reviewed the Finder X1 titanium earphone from Echobox. And the Nomad seems like the natural progression of that product. So we have a similar set of specs. If I can focus in on this. So we have a titanium housing, just like the Finder, a peak dynamic driver, like that. But we've improved in terms of we've now got that over-the-ear wear style, and we've also got removable cables. Got a nice tip selection there, as we can see, and we've still got acoustic tuning filters, just like the Explorer had. I thought that was quite cool. They actually donate 1% of all company profits to charity to make that use music to make the world a better place. That's quite a cool little thing. But yeah, let's get this open. This was one of the two new products they announced at CES, along with a cheaper IEM, the Traveller. I actually first got interested in Echobox 2 years ago now with their, I think it's the Explorer digital audio player, which is a really cool, like, it looks like a hip flask made of wood, That's also an Android based DAP. And that's finally released. They've really worked hard on that. They wanted it to be perfect. It's released. I'll be trying that soon as well. But now I'm going for their second IEM. I've noticed this is quite cool. They have a partnership with Snugs, who are actually a British based firm that, as you can see, make custom ear tips for any number of models of earphones. And if you get them made for the Nomad, I'm sure they'll fit many of your other models. Actually, funnily enough, Snugs advertised on Dragon's Den. Or not advertised, they ask for funding on Dragon's Den. That's what you do. You ask one of the Dragons to invest in the company. I didn't watch the episode, I just know it happened. I'm going to probably go and watch the episode after and see how that went down. But we've got this quite clean presentation, as you can see. We've got the earphones sitting pretty at the top there. So we've got comply featured, but I think we'll pop these out. Oh, they're tiny little things actually. They're smaller than it always tends to be the case. The earphones are smaller than they look in the pictures. Look at that. Echobox branding down there, and we've got like a matte black finish on the front. There's the MMCX connector. Yeah, I prefer 2-pin, but I'm not going to get too worked up about that. We've got the shine of a metal bore there. So I think the plastic probably covers titanium. I think they're fully titanium in terms of earphone. I don't think they're like half plastic, half titanium, which is cool. Let's pop the other one out. Sorry about how the focusing works on this, because I'm doing it solo. I've got to try and, be in the video and unbox things and make sure everything's in focus. I really need a second person to keep up with the focusing and stuff. But yeah, the earphones had some padding behind them, and then we've got this little box here. It may or may not pop off, but that's where all our accessories are going to be. Okay, so there's everything's going to be in this little pouch, but we'll see what else we've got. We've got a pack of silica. We have the product manual. I think I know how I'm going to be able to use these myself. And lastly, the warranty card. Awesome. So let's move them to one side. We've got the two earphones. Ooh, the earpieces there. Let's see what we've got inside this little titanium earphones. The Echobox logo. Okay, it's quite a packed little package in here. So first of all, we've got this. So on here, we have some dual flange, some single flange tips. We've also got, and I think this is overlooked, I think most of these sort of things, these tip holders, they come fully packed out with tips. But when you take the tips on them off, they've got nowhere to go, whereas these actually have an empty space for the tips already on the earphones. Then we have filters on the left, filters on the right. Obviously there's already filters on the earphones, and they're just a screw on, screw off affair. And they have a bass, treble and a standard, balanced, neutral, whatever filter. We've got the cable there. Got some complies. Just a pack of complies, don't need to see it any more in any more detail. That's the case. We've got a little bit of clamshell action. So let's bring you in lastly to the cable. So we have a little remote mic for your phone. So the cable seems like a nice enough ordeal. We have a little bit of memory wire up top by the connectors that go into the earphones, and it seems to be one of them braided cables that's been sheathed by some plastic. So you know, I'm sure you've used an MMCX cable before, but they just snap. The Echobox logo here means that it goes out, and this is the left channel. Not that it is. There's that classic snapping action. We'll put the other one in as well. Nice. And I'll quickly show how these filters come off. There we go. Anyhow, that is the Echobox N1, sorry. N1, the Nomad. So we're going to finish off with a quick little overview of two products that I've been listening to over the last month or so. We've got the one I like, the Ultimate Ears Reference Remastered, custom in monitor, $999 US. And we have this, the Chinese manufactured ZhiYin QT5, universal fit, $290. And both sort of represent two real different ideologies about how you go about making an earphone. We've got the much more expensive custom, the Ultimate Ears. It's a triple driver, 3 balanced armatures, which you might be thinking, God, that's expensive for 3 drivers. I can get 10 drivers for the price now, and that's where a lot of this market's going wrong. People are going in with that mindset, and it's just the wrong way about it, because this is a great performer at that price. It sounds great. It really does what it says on the tin. It's a reference model. It's made for producers. You know, they made it alongside Capitol Studios, and as a tool, not as a listening device, as a tool. And it's got that dry, flat sounding tone to it. The bass isn't going to be big or in your face or thumping, but you know, it's going to be doing its job. It's very neutral. The mid-range is very, very forward. It's got a nice sense of clarity to it. Details are amazing, and it really is clear. I mean, anything I put up against it, the JH Roxanne's, the 64 Audio A12, all number of beasts I put up against it, and they sound muddy in comparison. It's just that open and clear, and it's just very vivid in its presentation. Compared to its predecessor, the Ultimate Ears Reference Monitor, the UERR, it doesn't quite have the treble. It doesn't quite have that brightness, which some people loved, some people didn't like it because of it. It's a bit more laid back in the treble. It doesn't have that 7 kilohertz peak that might offend you, but it just has a very flat, articulate treble that extends very nicely. On the other hand, you've got the ZhiYin, which, you know, you get through in this little leather pouch, $290, and you're getting 5 drivers. This is a 5 driver hybrid, a single dynamic and 4 armatures. So you're thinking, this is what, $720 less or $710 less than the Ultimate Ears, and you've got an extra armature and a dynamic driver thrown in. You open it up, you've not just got that standard black cable that you get with the Ultimate Ears that, you know, is nothing special. You've got this 8 braid silver cable. Look at this. This looks like a serious earphone. It's got, you know, a lovely terminated jack, removable cables. You know, the website's throwing around AKG K3003 in the product listing, and you get this through, right? You get this through, and you're excited. It's a 5 driver. 5 drivers got to sound better than 3. Such good value, $290. You put them in, you plug them into your player, and I can guarantee the only way you're going to feel is disappointed. I mean, it does not matter what is in these. for all I care, it could be one driver or 200 drivers, because this proves the point that you cannot get caught up on what's inside an earphone. Oh, take notice, yeah, if that, you know, they've got some cool technology, sure, be interested, it's exciting, you know. You've got the likes of Odyssey putting planar magnetics in earphones and Unique Melody following suit, and it's exciting times because people are having to innovate, because there's so many brands now going out there, you know. It's not just the one hybrid in the market, you're getting these cheap hybrids from China, and I must say some of these Chinese products that you get from the Easy Ear stores and the HCK earphone stores, some of them sound great, you know. It's just there's no method to the madness over there. Like, you could get one with 2 drivers that's cheap for this and it sounds great, or you could end up getting one of the more expensive ones like this, $290, and it's got the most drivers and it's got this big product right up, and it ends up just sounding awful. I mean, this is like the most incoherent, there's just no good qualities about this. It's just a tragic earphone, and you know, you've just got to be careful and really find the right one. But it really does drive home my point. You know, Ultimate Ears with this UERR, the reference remastered, they have made an earphone that has everything you need, is so coherent, so detailed, covers end-to-end frequencies very well, and you know, yeah, it's expensive, and you can get worked up. It's $1,000 for just 3 drivers. Where's the value there? You know, I can find these drivers on Mouser for $100 per channel, or cheaper, or whatever it is. But you've got to understand, you know, they've worked with Capital Studios. This is I don't know if it's been 6 years in the making, but it's been 6 years since UERM come out, so it could have been 6 years in the making. They could have decided that they're going to do a successor last year and knocked it up in a few months. But you know, it's got some really cool things with the drives inside. The drivers basically sit inside this little sleeve, so they all sit in the sleeve instead of floating on their own, and the sleeve then goes into the canal section and it becomes the soundboard. And that's really cool, you know, and it sounds good. Whereas I can guarantee whoever's behind the ZhiYin has just gone, we've got 5 drivers, yeah, shovel them in these little metal tubes we've got, solder an MCX connector, and you know, stick in a nice pretty silver cable, and you know, people will be fooled by that. Don't be. Do some research, and if you do have to, I mean, I'm not saying these are competitive products or anything like that, you know, they're not. One's a custom, one's a universal. I'm more driving home about the driver wars that's going on at the moment, and don't just immediately think that 10 drives is better than 3, or a hybrid is better than dynamic. It's nothing along those lines. Great sound is great sound, and great engineering is done by an individual and is done by companies, and you know, that's why you're better off sticking to the companies that have the good rep, and you will pay a little bit more of a premium for it, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. Alright, so that's the first round of Let's Talk IEMs done. I hope you enjoyed my return to YouTube. Still keep up to date with the website. I'm updating that as much as possible with new reviews, and Josh is doing his bit as well. I do want to keep this a recurring series. As I said, it might be bi-monthly, so every 2 weeks, or it might be every month. It's whatever I can do, and it's what I get enough products through to do. But if you could do your part and pick which of them, one of them 4 other IEMs you want me to unbox come the next video, that would be great. I can start preparing for that, and I look forward to the next video and talking about the latest and reoccurrings in the IEM world. It's been nice having you, and I'll see you on the next one.